everyone's thoughts and concerns. It's hard to get excited for McNeese Day. I'm excited. I love these games because these games are important. Obviously, they're not fun to watch just because it's what's on the line. But look, I think we got a lot to look forward to. Hopefully, come week 2. What are you looking for in week 2? If for somebody who's from one who played the game, but 2 as a fan.
Minimal penalties, better execution, and lights out defense. And our offense should put up points just because they should put up points, but I want to see better execution. I want to see no more penalties and lights out from the defense.
I put a hashtag 100 points because, look, I think, you don't want to be disrespectful. You pay McNeese State to be there. Saddle these boys up and just pummel them. Because, look, right now, that's how you silence the crowd a little bit. You go out there and put up 35 points. Now, with the new clock system, it might be a little bit harder, but I'm sure they're going to want to establish the run a little bit more. But the Cowboys better not score a damn point or see across the 50-yard line. Like, that's how bad this has to be. And that seems outrageous, but look, that's what we want to see.
Yeah, I'll be safe with the clock system with about 400 rushing yards.
Sure, right? Like just ground and pound, tear him up. Graham Mertz throws for 250, 2 incompletions.
Yeah, like a 90% completion rating, 2 incompletions with like a
couple of picks.
We got to start. I want us to be hungry, man. I want us to see. I really want to see these guys play excited, man. Play for one another. Play for the guy next to you, man. I don't know if these guys have had enough time to get to know one another. Like, we've been to each other's mama's house and all kind of things like that for all the guys that were local around for the holidays. And, it's, man, winning not easy, man. And if you're not playing for the person next to you, you start doing selfish things, trying to make yourself look better, swimming out of gaps. The things that people watching the game won't notice, but a coach will notice. And unfortunately, the coaches don't get fired by reviewing the film.
Sure, and I think you kind of nail on the head too with buying in, because there was the very first false start was Odom and Damian George on the right side, and they moved because Utah had a shuffle in the D line, which that was their goal. But that's those guys being on their own accord. Right? Not because Mertz didn't even clap. There wasn't even a signal to get the ball moving, right? Like, that just shows how much of your own world that you're in. You are so concerned with what you're doing, and it's almost like you don't trust the guys to the left or right of you, right? If you trust your team, what's been called and what your quarterback is doing, you're going to be bought in. That's a lot of good points. I mean, I think it's more than those penalties show the lack of trust amongst the group of guys.
Nope. I believe the pressure, they are on the road. A lot of young guys playing, and they're playing in their own head, like you said. They're not playing like when you break the huddle, it's like, come on, let's go. Hey, let's do this. That puts you on the same page as your teammate. We're breaking the huddle, we're just going up there looking for our assignment and like fumbling down our leg because, the cohesiveness, man. You got to play as a unit. You got the train got to move together.
Sure. Dave, what's your thoughts, man? What are you looking for this week?
Oh, God. You do want me to start from the top?
How much time do we have, right?
First of all, I want to see way better cohesion on the offensive line. I mean, there was plenty of plays. I could list 20 million plays from last week where Florida's offensive line is just getting mauled, and Graham Mertz has like 2 seconds to throw the football. And obviously, we only had 13 rushing yards last week. I obviously want to see more offensive line cohesion so our running backs can run the football. I also want to make sure that when we go out on the field, there's no confusion if there's there probably won't be no hurry up in this game. But I want to see less confusion of special teams with the double jerseys, with a million guys on the field. It was just the special teams and offense was so sloppy. I could list a million reasons of what it looked like. But at the same time, I think Graham Mertz, for what he had and what he was having to deal with, did pretty well. I mean, you're throwing 70%, 333. I know a lot of those passes were short behind the line of scrimmage, but when you have 2 seconds to throw the football, that's all you can do. And I don't know if any receiver that can run a 2-second 40-yard dash and get down the field that quick.
Hurry up.
I mean, That's basically really all I want to see is more camaraderie there, I guess, offensive line wise, push some people around. And defensively, I mean, I really can't just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, stop. I mean, they gave up one explosive. I know that there was, the thing with Miguel Mitchell, he kind of missed his guy, and RJ Moten had to make up for it and then tripped up Jason Marshall. The guy goes into the end zone. Less of those kind of big splash plays, but I think that was the only really big explosive besides the Nate Johnson run. So, clear that up there, and I'm pretty decent with the defense. They only missed 2 tackles last week, so and just keep doing what you're doing, but improve just a little bit there.
The big thing for me is I want to leave Saturday excited for Tennessee. I think the issue was, even though we lost to Utah, you can't be upset about a loss if it was a well-fought game. It felt like we didn't even have a fighting chance was the first issue. If we can walk out of McNeese State, we see what Tennessee does against Missouri, which that could be an upset alert. Like, everyone needs to pay attention, and we'll get into that in our pick'ems a little bit later on. But how they look, I don't feel like they looked completely selling against Virginia, but they still look better than Florida, so I can't sit here and try to knick-knack, paddywhack back and forth. But I want to leave that game, the offense score a few touchdowns. We've only scored 1 touchdown in the last 2 games. I mean, they need to see what it feels like to score. You know what I mean? I'm in sales, and sometimes I'm like, look, just get on the board. You need to feel like what it is like to get a sale. I don't care how ugly it is. Just get on the board. Like, get in that habit of running in the end zone. Get some conversions in the red zone. And look, I think we're all kind of saying the same thing without saying it, but pass the eye test. When you sit there and you watch a football game, something I've been notating about the Jaguars, over the past decade, the Jaguars, there's always excitement in the preseason, but they just seem like they're just missing something. You can't really seem to figure it out. This offseason, everything was clicking. It's unreal how just smooth and cohesive that football team looks. And I think, obviously, the guys that are more dialed in, like yourself, Steven, you notice what it is. We're bought in. We're the chains and link, right? We're all cohesive. Right now, everything just feels like we're moving, but it's like we're just off a little bit. I need the pieces to come together, and it's just one big flowing motion. And that's where I'm excited, and I think that's what Billy's trying to promote. And obviously, people have lost their patience, and I'm not upset with that. But it's like, we're one turn away from being clicked. It's like trying to figure out the gears in a lock, right? When you're spinning that thing around, all of it has to link up for it to unlock. Right now, we're just kind of jumbled. As soon as those things hit the right number and sync up, it's going to unlock, I'm assuming, a complete ass whooping is what I'm hoping for. So I want to leave this week fire the hell up for week 3. I want to see the defensive line move.
I forgot one thing.
Go ahead.
I forgot one thing. Get a sack too, please.
Yeah. I want to see the D line just elite speed, just laying cats out, right? Again, they're in the same boat where they need to, that's their touchdown, right? They need to see what it feels like to hit somebody.
Correct. Look, if any of the D linemen see this, man, y'all listen, man, foul the ball, man. Foul the ball. Let's get some pressure up the middle, man. Let's smash some face masks in, man. Let's get nasty. Let's get dirty, man. Look, it's football, man. It's another human being across from you. You got blood in his body. You can't let that man beat you, man. Let's go.
That's it.
I put my pads on, baby. Let's go. Woo! Fired up. I love that. We're clipping that. I'm going to tag some Gator boys in that. Let's get fired up.